Today on 5 to 9, it's the Battle of the Batmen. Is it old? Is it new? Can we connect Ben Affleck to Michael Keaton in no fewer than 5 and no more than 9 movies? Find out on today's episode of 5 to 9. Welcome to 5 to 9, the movie game for movie fans. I'm your host, Eric Ginsberg, and we're coming to you from North Hollywood, California at the Home Run Studios. Do you love movies? Do you love getting lost in the IMDb, the Internet Movie Database? Do you love talking through, who was that guy? Who was in that thing? What's his face? Then this show is for you, and this game is yours. My first guest is a writer and editor at No Film School. Folks, welcome to the show, Alyssa Miller.
Hi.
Alyssa, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
I'm so glad you're here, and I have to ask you, we talked earlier, and you told me that your favorite movie when you were a kid was any Tarantino movie. And so I just want to know, how old were you when you saw Phil Lamar get shot in the face?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. So I was raised by a single father who was perpetually stuck in like the 80s and 90s. And his whole philosophy was like, if it's too much for you, just walk out of the room. And so he would watch whatever he wanted to watch. And I think I remember maybe being like 5 or 6 and we were watching Kill Bill on the couch. And I was like, this is the coolest thing that's ever existed in the entire world.
So when Lucy Liu's head gets sliced, you're like, this is great.
I saw it happen. I was like, can that happen to me? And my dad was like, just don't get in that life. And I was like, all right, valid.
Now, you also told me that you would love to see a remake of Desperado. Desperado, of course, the second of 3 movies in the Mariachi trilogy. Why do they need to remake that one?
Oh, I love Antonio Banderas. So if we get like an older version of him in there and just, living his life, cool action sequences in IMAX, I would be satisfied. I'd be living the best life ever.
And I think Salma Hayek could also reprise the role.
Oh, definitely. It'd be like legacy characters coming back. It would be the what is it? The requel, the remake sequel.
There you go.
That's what I would love to see.
Maybe we need like a 4th film in the franchise, not a remake of that, but like where are they now in their lives? So when we were watching the Academy Awards and Salma Hayek came onto the screen, obviously like everyone else on the planet was just blown away by how beautiful she is. And I leaned over to my wife and I said, just so you know, that's your competition. And she said, that's fine. That's your competition too.
She's always been gorgeous. She's never going to stop being gorgeous.
No,
and
never.
I want the best for her. She needs to be in everything and anything.
Absolutely. So tell me about No Film School.
So No Film School is an online publication that's dedicated to helping filmmakers who, either can't go to film school for whatever reasons, or it's just like not a possibility at the moment. So we're always here to educate up-and-coming filmmakers to make their first indie movie and hopefully make their first big budget movie. We were there to support Daniels all the way up till this film. And so it was really great when Everything Everywhere All at Once came out and we were able to connect with them and just talk to them about it. So we just really want to support filmmaking in any form. And so, yeah, that's what I do there.
What's your role there?
What's my role?
Yeah.
So I write other articles, really. I write and edit them. I cover everything from like cinematography to editing, to directing. I do a lot of interviews. I just interviewed the cinematographer for Scream 6. I'm talking to the sound supervisor for John Wick 4 on Tuesday. So look forward to that interview.
Exciting stuff.
It'll already be up, actually, by the time.
Did you go to film school, or are you a graduate of the No Film School film school?
I'm actually just a writer. I graduated college for creative writing, and then I'm just a big film nerd. So they like the way I talk about movies, and so I've learned a lot through the way, but I am gearing up to possibly make my first short through everything I've learned from No Film School.
Exactly. You're a graduate of the No Film School film school.
Yeah, actually. By accident. They've inspired me too much in a good way.
There you go. So our next contestant on the show is Evan Weidenkeller. Evan, you are a freelance cinematographer. You're originally from San Francisco, but like a lot of the film industry, you found yourself here in Los Angeles. Yep. And you told me before the show that Paddington 2 was the greatest movie ever made, and I need you to defend it right now.
It really, if you look at it from like a classical approach of like cinema, it is perfect. It hits all the beats, it hits all the marks, all the emotions. By the end of it, you're crying, you're laughing. It is a perfect movie.
Mm-hmm. So pink and black stripes in
Yes.
prison does it for you. Hugh Jackman,
Yes.
not Hugh Jackman, sorry, Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant as a villain does it for
Yeah.
you. He's taken a lot of villainous turns in his more recent films.
It's his voice.
And I think he's been wonderful in it.
Yeah.
So you were maybe most upset that you had paid good money to see the movie Passengers, and you want to change the ending. You want to cut the tree down, and you want to what? Should Jennifer Lawrence just murder Chris Pratt at the end? Like, how should it end?
It's so frustrating because all the elements are there to make a beautiful horror film. And it should have been played that way. But they kind of played it backwards, I think. They played it so where you have Jennifer Lawrence who wakes up and, he woke her up on purpose.
Yep.
You understand from his point of view, his perspective, but they should have started from her point of view coming into this world, not him. And kind of devolving downward what the elements that are happening in this film.
Sure.
And it would have been a beautiful horror film.
Okay, so what if, as a horror film, what if we didn't know it, but she was a serial killer, and now she's awake?
That's even better.
Oh, he's woken the killer, and now he has to escape her, but also stop her from killing everyone in their pods one by one.
Anything is better than what they did. It was so flat. They left me with nothing.
Let's just
Absolutely
throw Lawrence
nothing.
Fishburne at the end, make him bleed a little, and then you get big act 3, you got to save it, and there'll be a tree.
That's perfect. That's so much better.
And for those of you who've not seen this movie, we've literally ruined
the entire film. We're not even ruining it.
Yeah.
Don't go see it. It's fine. You can read about it on IMDb or maybe no film school.
No.
Well, maybe sometime soon. But both of you told me that you never want them to stop making Scream movies. Apart from, of course, you mentioned, Alyssa, you're going to get a chance to do an article about Scream. Why do you want to see a Scream 7, 8, 9, 10? Why would Wes Craven be looking down or up and proud? What about it is so exciting to both of you? And I really want a collaborative answer on this.
Oh my gosh. Well, again, it goes back to the thing of I watched certain movies way too young. And so Scream was definitely one of those. And a lot of horror movies for that do it for me. But Scream holds a special place as a franchise because it's always commenting on the tropes and trends of horror. So why would I ever want that to stop when it can always keep making fun of, the system we live in? And the filmmakers behind it, oh my gosh, what is the duo called? I forget their names, but they're the ones behind Ready or Not. They are so smart about it, and they always want to not only pay homage to the horror masters, which Wes Craven obviously is one of those, but they want to uphold the standard of horror and what it should be, while paying tribute to what Scream is, which is a fun slasher movie that makes fun of itself constantly.
It's a fun go to the movies kind of a movie.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We watched Scream 6 in theaters, and I don't know what it is about.
The energy in the place was just so wonderful. Every time there's a good death, people are just cheering and getting all into it. It's a fun movie.
And the nice thing about Ghostface is he is, or they are, because you never know the gender.
You never know.
They are.
Or how many.
Yeah,
or how many.
That's right.
You're always going to assume there's 2, but could there be more? Could there be less? AI is coming in favor. AI Ghostface. That's going to be Scream 9. I can feel it.
All right. So, Evan, you were telling me before we started about the short film that you're working on as a cinematographer called La Macana. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, it's a beautiful just kind of period piece that we shot over the pandemic. A couple of really good friends got together. We made it. Now it's going to be premiering on HBO Max's shorts section of their tabs on HBO Max.
And for the uninitiated, for those listening out there, because they just love connecting actors to actors in no fewer than 5 and no more than 9 movies, can you tell us about the role of a cinematographer and how it's different from but complements that of a director?
I always see it as kind of like being the right-hand person or collaborator in making films, where you're there to kind of take over the elements that the director may be too busy to do. So I'm involved with my few teams of people and making sure that the image and the tone that we are talking about ends up being true and consistent throughout the entire film and even through the post process. So I work with many different people on my team to make sure that we're all telling the same story, that it looks the same, that the visual language is consistent, and that the story we wanted to tell is as close to what we wanted to tell as possible by the end of it.
That makes a lot of sense. I guess how is that different from the AD's job?
Oh, I think the 80s job is mostly there to kind of like wrangle everyone in when it gets too exciting. When we're like, oh, this is a great, we should just go do this real quick. And they're like, we don't have time or money or the ability or the manpower. And we're like, all right, well, that's why you're here.
All right. So, guys, before we play 5 to 9, we're going to do a little warm-up round. Before the show, we asked you to both write down the names of 5 actors. We're going to pull one out of the hat and give you 60 seconds to name as many of their movies as possible. Any movie they've appeared in counts. Are you guys ready?
Maybe.
Jason, do you have 60 seconds on the clock?
No. Not only do I have 60 seconds on the clock, I also have the production company we were thinking of was Radio Silence. Not only known for the new Screen series and Ready or Not, but also the VHS series.
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
Thank you so much. So with 60 seconds on the clock, name as many films featuring Timothée Chalamet. Go.
Oh my gosh. Dune.
That's one.
Dune Part 2.
Not sure. It's coming soon.
Bones and All.
That's 3.
Call Me By Your Name.
That's 4.
Summer Nights. Oh, wait.
That's
what?
5.
The book. The book that turned into a film. With the girls and the...
What?
We're at 5.
Never mind.
That gives me nothing. Okay, Timothée Chalamet. What else is he in? Oh, Lady Bird.
That's 6.
The French Connection.
That's 7.
Ooh, I'm
Good.
snapping.
Wow.
Love that movie.
It was pretty good, actually. I like the pencil mustache.
I'm sorry, it's not the French Connection. It's the French.
Is it not the French Connection?
It's not the French Connection. It's the French
Dispatch.
Dispatch. There we go. That's
Look
it.
at me. Oh gosh.
What's
He's
the 3 sisters?
Little Women.
Little Women. Thank you.
That's
That's what I was
8.
thinking of.
What else is he in? Oh, he was in Interstellar. He was the son.
All right.
Yes, he was.
you're
And then
right.
he thought he had a
Wow.
bigger box, and then
Wow.
he cried
That
in
is
the theater.
time. That is
Yeah.
time.
And that is time.
That's
Nobody
good.
came up with Don't Look Up.
I forgot about that
I didn't
one.
get to that part where he made it into the movie.
That's okay. Jason, were there other Timothée Chalamet films that we missed?
I am going to confirm Interstellar. Now that I'm looking everything up.
That's
Thank you.
good. That's a good one. I completely forgot about
his
that.
his first non-television credited role was Men, Women, and Children in 2014. We've
Sure,
got
why
movies like Call Me By Your Name, Hot Summer Nights. We got Lady Bird.
Yep.
Hot Summer.
Yeah, we had all
Beautiful
those.
Boy, The King. We got Little Women.
Beautiful Boy.
I never
That's
saw
right.
Beautiful Boy.
It was pretty good.
Bones and All.
Mhm.
Yep, you had that one.
And recently it's been a lot of shorts and music videos that would not have counted on today's show.
Sure. Now he will eventually be Willy Wonka.
That
It's
is
a
true.
musical, and I'm kind of
That
excited
has
to
been
see
announced
it.
yet.
I mean, they were
As
always
well as Dune Part
musicals.
2 coming up.
Dune
Well, yeah,
Part 2.
I gave him that as one of their 9
Thank you.
because that's coming out very soon,
they
and
can
maybe
have it.
even by the time this episode comes out, it may already be out. So,
I will
guys,
allow
the
you
real
to allow
reason,
it, Eric.
Thank you for allowing that. I will allow you to allow me to allow it. Now, the real reason we invited you guys both here today is to play the movie game 5 to 9, where you'll have to connect 2 actors through no fewer than 5 and no more than 9 movies. It is time to open up your game pads. Let's get that crinkle going. And then
Is it
I'm going to
like
draw
ASMR?
names
So
out of our
satisfying.
cup. We have no hat. I did not bring a hat to Los Angeles. We typically record this in Asbury Park, New Jersey. But I'm so excited that now we're out here in Los Angeles. We get to do a spate of episodes. And in the from spot, we're going to jot down Ben Affleck.
Ooh,
Give me a second, reposition that. All right.
that's a good one.
Ben Affleck.
I think my pen died.
Oh, you got it.
All right. And in the 2 spot, we're going to put a man we have all seen in person, Michael Keaton. You know, I mentioned that I'm out in Los Angeles right now recording some 5 to 9 episodes, and my very first full day in Los Angeles, I went out to breakfast, and who's sitting across from me at the table diagonally? Michael Keaton. And like, you don't want to
Just
stare.
see him in the wild.
You
Yeah,
don't want to stare, but that's Batman.
that's so great.
Eric,
Batman
tell them how
Amber.
you told me about it.
I texted you that I was out at lunch with Michael Keaton.
Now, the phrase "I'm
And then-
having lunch with Michael Keaton" is very different than "I'm at a table next to Michael Keaton who's eating very separately."
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to discard some of the names that we've used a bunch of times in the last couple episodes, but here's a fun one, guys. Our wild card. If you can go through The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, you can get 3 bonus points. Now, we are also going to spin our house rule wheel.
All right.
And if we can land on the house rule, we will get a bonus point every time we do it. All right, it's spinning. And let's see, today's house rule is going to be 3rd time's a charm. Jason, do you want to tell them about 3rd time's a charm?
3rd time's a charm. Players, you will get an additional bonus point for every movie you name that is the 3rd in a series. Doesn't have to be the last, just has to be the 3rd.
Now, interestingly, I think we could count all of Star Wars 3, 6, and 9 as they were 3s of their own trilogies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll count that.
yeah. Now, before we played the game, we'd like to apologize in advance to the actors who've spent a career building a body of work whose faces we know but whose names we may butcher, and to all the hardworking writers, directors, and producers who picked the perfect name for a film that we may likely fumble through today. I swear, we really do love your work. Alyssa, Evan, you're going to be playing together as a team. I'll be here on the sideline to offer some help along the way, but not too much. Are you ready to play the game?
Yes.
We are ready.
All right, so let's put Ben Affleck in that from spot, and let's see, can we connect, talk it out? The more you talk, the better it sounds on a podcast.
All right.
Perfect.
Duly noted. All right.
Well,
Okay,
can
we're
we
starting
say
now?
they're both been Batman.
We shouldn't go from there. We should start with just Ben, and then
Ben.
because again,
Benny Ben. Okay.
5 movie. Okay.
Okay, and if you can get from Ben Affleck to The Rock, that may be a good kind of like jumping off spot for some
Yeah.
bonus points.
Okay.
And Kevin Bacon is always worth 2 bonus points, and any SNL cast member always worth
Oh,
a
that's
bonus
great.
point.
Okay. Can we do something with Matt Damon?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're in
Yeah.
everything together.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Let's start with Matt, like going from Ben Affleck to Matt Damon.
Sure,
'cause
what
I feel like
film?
So we can start with Good Will Hunting. I mean,
You
that's an
can?
easy
yeah.
one.
Let's start with Good Will Hunting. Let's see. So they were getting Good Will Hunting together.
Also, Robin Williams is in there.
Yeah.
So do you want to go Robin Williams? Or do you want to go Matt Damon?
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh gosh. Okay.
Robin Williams has been in a lot of movies,
He's
but
been in
so
a
is
lot
Matt
of
Damon.
That's true. That's
Michael
true.
Keaton.
To Michael Keaton. That's hard. Let's go down the rabbit hole of Matt Damon first and see where that leads us. Because the thing I start to think about would be, oh gosh, there's so many Matt Damon movies, and I can only think of The Martian right now.
Okay, well, who else is in that?
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Sure.
I love Anne Hathaway, and
Wait, is Anne Hathaway in The Martian? I'm thinking of Interstellar.
Interstellar.
it's that there's so many space movies out there, and sometimes I
You're
just
thinking
get them
of
mixed
Interstellar.
up. I thought she was in.
But Matt Damon is also in Interstellar.
Is he actually?
The Martian is
my
a
He
gosh.
different movie.
Yeah, that's right. He
Anne
plays the
Hathaway
villain.
and Matt
Yeah.
Damon are
Oh.
star-crossed lovers, quite literally,
Oh.
in Interstellar.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, see, he's in so many movies. This is a good choice. Okay, I love Matt Damon.
These are movies where Matt Damon was sent to space and they just tried to leave him there.
And he always got
Yeah.
back, and we said, "Oh, great! Hi, welcome." Okay.
He didn't always get back.
No.
Putting that out there, 50-50 right now.
Okay, so what is a movie that The Rock? Okay. What?
Interstellar on the Rock.
Yes.
Yeah, if you can get to the Rockies,
Ooh,
worth
boy.
3 bonus points.
Yeah. So Matt Damon in Interstellar. Has Anne Hathaway been
I
in a
mean,
movie
Anna-
with The Rock? Has she?
Wait, yeah. Isn't Smart that
Yes.
Get Smart.
Yes.
Get Smart.
Yes. Okay.
All right,
okay,
so we have
with-
Interstellar with Anne Hathaway,
All right, Interstellar with Anne Hathaway, yeah.
who is in Get Smart with The Rock, who, if you haven't watched the movie yet, I'm going to ruin it for you anyway. It's been 15 years. You've had enough time. He was the villain.
What?
You never saw it coming.
Oh.
Okay, so this is good. We've made it from Ben Affleck to our wild card, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Now let's get from him to Michael Keaton. How do we do it? Oh, I can do it so fast.
You can.
I've got it,
Oh,
but I've got to let you guys
Oh
think
my
it out.
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Okay. I can only think of Black Adam. I can only think of Red Notice.
I'm so sorry
and
if you
Furious.
can only think of Black Adam, because that was a movie, I think the entire DCEU that I'm so glad is finally going to be put to rest. I've been rooting for a reboot since Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. And now that we have James Gunn in charge of now just the simpler DCU, I'm so excited that these movies are done. But I made the mistake of going to see Black Adam in the theater. And I've seen all these movies in the theater. And every time I kick myself, and I don't know what's wrong with me, that I keep walking in with eternal hope.
The issue is you're hoping for the best, because you've gotten good first acts, and then really let down at the end.
Well, so Black Adam, first of all, they cast him when he was making Get Smart. That's how long ago it was. Back in, I think, 2006.
Oh my Lord.
2007. It took so many years to finally make Black Adam. And originally they were making a Shazam movie, and he would be the villain of it.
But he was like, I don't want to be.
And then they just never connected those, as if they're two completely separate things. And I guess my biggest problem with Black Adam is also my biggest problem with Aquaman, which is there's this whole big reveal at the end that was the first thing they said in every single trailer. The first thing in every Black Adam trailer is, my son died to save me. And then at the end of the movie, it's like, oh, he's not the son, he's the dad. The son died to save him. What? Wow. And it's like, yeah, that was literally how you got me to come to the theater. So we've got to figure out how to get from The Rock to Michael Keaton. I can do it in 2 movies.
Wow.
Let's see how many movies it'll take you right after this break.
Luckily, The Rock is in almost everything.
Hey, it's producer Jason stepping in here real quick to thank you for listening to 5 to 9, a movie game podcast. We're actually really excited to bring this show back for its new season with new and improved audio and video. If you're listening to the audio version, make sure you subscribe on your podcast app of choice to make sure you get the newest episodes as soon as they release. And if you want to watch the video as well, make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Links to all of these can be found at 5to9game.com. Okay, you followed? You there? You got it? Great. Let's get back to the show.
Guys, we're back from the break, and we're trying to figure out how to connect our wild card, The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, all the way to Michael Keaton. Fun fact, just in terms of my life, was that when Spider-Man came out in theaters and was the first film to gross $100 million in its opening weekend, it was not playing at the Chinese theater because they were holding it because the following week they were going to debut The Scorpion King. And that was more important to them than Spider-Man. So I saw that at, I think it's called the Palladium. Is that correct? Is that the other amazing movie theater here in town? Mm-hmm. I have not lived here in a very long time. So how can we connect The Rock to Michael Keaton? Start talking through Rock movies and see where you go.
I actually know how to do it.
Oh.
But the issue is I want to get some of these bonus points.
Well, you've already got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for 3 bonus points.
Kevin
That's
Bacon.
true. But I would like to get Kevin Bacon or an SNL cast member.
How can we do it? Keeping in mind, if you go too far out of your way, you do nullify some of the points you gain.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I mean, I could tell you how we can get to Michael Keaton.
Okay. How do we do it?
Ooh, maybe it won't work.
Try it.
Okay. I think it's going to be 3 movies for me then.
That's fine. Do it.
So it would be The Rock as... Whoa. It would be Black Adam, and the very end, Henry Cavill makes a cameo.
Oh, okay.
Henry Cavill was in the Justice League movie with Ezra Miller as Flash.
Hold on, we're jotting this stuff down. Black Adam with Henry Cavill. Oh, I see where you're going.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going right for those DC movies. So Henry Cavill, who is in the Justice League Ezra Miller, who of course is in...
Is it called The Flash or The Flashpoint?
It is called The Flash with
Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton.
That's right. They're going to be in a movie together.
Well, they call him Batman or Batmen?
Or is it Batsman?
Batsman.
I don't know. But there we go with Michael Keaton for the win.
That was good.
Thank
Guys, you have done it. You have won 5 to 9. Let's tally up these points. We go to the bottom of the card. We'll do 10.
I'm so curious. What was your connection?
So my connection was going to go through the rundown because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was in the rundown with Walken. Christopher Walken, who plays Max Schrapp, is that his name? In Batman Returns. with Michael Keaton. Either way, we were all synced up for Batman.
We were there.
Wow,
We
The
were
Rock
there.
really is in everything.
He's a guy who never wants to stop working.
Yeah.
Good for him. I
So
never
let's-
want to stop seeing him.
He's great. Let's tally these points, guys. 10 minus 6 movies is going to be 4 points. Did we get our wild card for 3 points? Yes, we did. Did we get the house rule? Jason, were any of our movies number 3 in a trilogy, in a sequence, in a series of movies?
Not that
I
I noticed in
can't say that-
today's.
Any of them were. Did we get Kevin Bacon? No, we did not. Did we get
Fortunately
any SNL cast members? We did not. So we're going to walk away with 7 points and a win. Congratulations to both of you. I'm so proud of you. Jason, what were some other fun connections we could have made?
So I always like finding the most direct route, which we could have gotten from Ben Affleck through He's Just Not That Into You with Jennifer Connelly, and then going through Inventing the Abbotts with Michael Keaton.
And obviously the most direct route is just going to be The Flash, which they're in together, but sure.
Right. Sure. Okay. So at the time of me searching, it wasn't available.
Oh, it's so, Ezra Miller has suffered a lot of mental health struggles that have put other people in worse positions than perhaps he was in. Let's not forget the victims of his crimes, of their crimes.
Yeah.
But let's also keep in mind that Ezra Miller was cast as the Flash a decade ago. And when you make somebody wait a decade for what will be their big starring role, it can drive you a little batty.
Beautiful pun. Beautiful pun.
Thank you. We're back on the Batmen. The Batsmen's.
The Batsmen's.
Batsmen's.
The Bats thems?
Yeah, I would pluralize both halves of that. It'll be the Batsmen.
That makes sense.
We could have also gotten directly from Michael Keaton to The Rock through the other guys.
Sure.
We were just talking about
Aim
that
for the
movie.
bushes.
Movie.
Aim for the
we could have gotten
bushes.
from then The Rock through Fast and Furious 6 with Vin Diesel, which then gets us Boiler Room with Ben Affleck.
Sure. Now,
And I was really, really hoping that The Rock was also in Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift, but he was not.
is not.
But we could have
No,
taken
only
a
Bow Wow
slight-
was
Yeah.
not.
Could have taken a slight detour with really anybody who was in that movie while
Well,
Vin
that
Diesel
movie
was
was
still
a
in there.
straight-to-video release, as the original Fast and Furious movie was supposed to be. Now, the reason why we got the Fast and the Furious Hobbs and Shaw movie was on account of they wanted to keep Dwayne Johnson in the franchise, but he absolutely refuses to work with Vin Diesel. He feels like Vin Diesel is too much of a prima donna, whereas The Rock shows up to work every single day. Whether it's at the gym or on a movie, he shows up, he's got his khaki shirt, he is ready for someone to yell action.
And he's so good in the Fast and Furious franchise. It's like, it's the franchise for bald buff men in Hollywood.
Also, I've got here Ben Affleck can get us through 200 cigarettes with Courtney Love. That gets us Trapped
so
with Kevin
Unfortunately
Bacon.
true. I'm gonna initiate a no Courtney Love rule on this game, only on account of it's my game. And
Listen, I work
would
with what I
appreciate-
I
got,
didn't
all
know
right?
she was in a movie.
She's been in a number of movies,
been in a few movies,
including the movie Feeling Minnesota with Keanu Reeves. She was in The People versus Larry Flint with Woody Harrelson and Ed Norton.
That's probably her most known role, yeah.
She was in Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey and Danny DeVito.
That's
Oh
right.
my goodness.
Yeah.
She's
What a
been
cast.
she auditioned for Nancy in Sid and Nancy, though she did not get the part.
Who got the part over her?
Which is weird because she's pretty much Nancy.
Right? That's what I'm saying. And that is the total sum of Courtney Love on this show. So, Alyssa Miller, Evan Weidenkeller, thank you guys so much for taking the time to come on to 5 to 9 today. Listeners out there, as soon as you're done listening to this episode and subscribing to our show, make sure to subscribe to No Film School on your favorite podcasting app. Go to that website, read through Alyssa Miller's material because she is a writer and editor right there. Then go to HBO Max and find La Machina, which is Evan Weidenkeller's film, his short film. And guys, thank you so much for taking the time today to be on 5 to 9, for playing our game. You've each won the official 5 to 9 gamepad, which comes with 50 game cards and is also available at 5to9game.com. If you 5 to 9ers out there in podcast land were chomping at the bit, yelling out better solutions for today's challenge, enter for a chance to come on our show by beating us at our own game. Get your official 5 to 9 game cards at 5to9game.com. Play today's challenge and tag at 5to9game with your winning game card on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook to show us how it's done. High scores, as well as creativity and entertainment value, will all be considered. This has been 5 to 9. I'm your host, Eric Ginsberg. Our show is recorded today at the Home Run Studio in North Hollywood, California. Our producers have been Jason Portizo, Laura Ginsberg, Benny Ave, Jag, and Shot by Riggs. Our theme music is Monday Night on an Otherwise Empty Beach on my album Fire, streaming on all platforms. Subscribe to 5 to 9 wherever you get podcasts. Follow us on social media at 5 to 9game to play with or against the global 5 to 9 community. Thanks for listening, and let's play together again soon.